know the lighting is absolutely horrendous, but it is a really bad overcast day and the lighting in this room is not the best. So I thought I would share with you the progress of my little seedlings. So let's take a look at them. Okay, this first seed tray here is of my, my sugar snap peas. I decided I was going to start them inside because when I put them outside, for some strange reason, they were not doing so well. As a matter of fact, I did not have one sprout at all. So I thought, let me see if I can try them inside and then just transplant them outside. So the interesting thing is I had 2 sprout, and here's the one. Let's see if, let me zoom out so you can see it. Oops, wrong way. Here, that's still not zoomed out enough. Let's go way back. And, okay. I don't know how I'm gonna do this with my lighting, but here is one that I have transplanted. Hold on. Is that even a little better? Maybe. Here is one that I transplanted into a larger cup, and it seems to be doing pretty well. So I'm going to keep him in for a little while, and it's even got the little tendrils trying to reach for things to start vining. So yay for this little guy. Let me put him back down here by the light. And where's his brother? Oh, here he is. All right, come on. And here is the second one that I transplanted. And he seems to be doing pretty well as well. So these 2 were the only 2 that sprouted. So I am gingerly taking care of them. So I potted them up into these larger containers to see how they would grow. And I'm just gingerly taking care of them to make sure that nothing goes wrong, hopefully. And then I will pot them up, or excuse me, transplant them into larger pots. Or excuse me, I will transplant them outside. I'm getting my words all mixed up. So anyway, back to the seed tray. So that's what we're in, these 2 holes there, but nothing else has germinated. So I'm wondering about that. So that's interesting. But anyway, moving on. Next, in this seed tray, let's zoom in on this one, is my, who are you again? Lettuce. I thought I would do another seed tray of the black seeded Simpson lettuce. It's a leaf lettuce. And what you see on top of all of these seed trays is vermiculite because it holds moisture. And I wonder if I should have done that because now I don't see any lettuce sprouting up. And I think it's because lettuce needs light. So I think I may have failed on that one. But it is what it is. I tried something different, and yeah, I think that one was a oopsie. But I tried. But the reason I put vermiculite on top is because putting vermiculite on top also helps combat fungus gnats. Have you ever walked into your seed room and there's these little gnats just flying all over the place? Well, that's because of the water and the soil being wet. So with the vermiculite on top, that helps combat that, the growth of the gnats from hatching from their eggs and flying all over your house. So I thought I would put vermiculite on top and see if that would really help. And so far, it actually is. So yay for vermiculite. So nothing has sprouted. I did these all yesterday. And I did it while we were we had a really bad thunderstorm yesterday. And so there was really nothing else to do but to just sit around and do nothing. And I planted a couple of seeds, and I did not film it because the lighting was even worse than it is right now. So that is why. So next I am going to move over, and let me say this. I'm going to leave the lettuce and the peas on this heating mat for another few days, and if nothing has sprouted, then I'm just going to chalk it up as a loss. Now I'm going to move on down the road to this. Now I planted some kohlrabi. I have absolutely never tasted kohlrabi before in my life, but I keep hearing how wonderful it is and how tasty it is. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. I planted some outside, seeded outside, no transplant, no nothing. I just planted the seeds outside in a 5-gallon bucket. Absolutely nothing happened. So I thought, okay, I'll try the seed inside, see what happens. And I actually got some sprouting. And look at them, aren't they adorable? So let's see if I can save them. Okay, let's see if this will focus. There we go. See them? I think there's 4 of them, 5. Because I didn't plant a lot of them because I wasn't sure if they were going to make it or if they were going to even sprout. But I got 5 of them. So now that they have sprouted, I am going to take them off of, and as you see, there are no humidity domes on top of them. I didn't put any domes on any of these. And I wonder if that's why the lettuce hasn't sprouted, because I didn't put a dome on it. But I didn't put one on the peas, and I didn't put one on the kohlrabi either. But they sprouted. So now that these have sprouted, I am going to take them off of the heating mat and just put them under the light. So down to the light we go. All right, next I'm just going to slide this over. This is, let's zoom in. Oh, okay, that's as far as I can zoom. Get that a little centered for you. This is, and I planted the kohlrabi on the 8th. This is my bull sweet corn. Bull as in B-U-H-L. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but that's what it is. And what I did with the corn is I took a cup and put hot water in it, just hot tap water, and dropped the kernels in the hot water, let it set overnight, took them out, and just dropped the kernels in the soil, the seed mix, and topped it off with vermiculite. And I actually have some corn growing. So I have, and there's only one kernel in each cell. There's 12 cells, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I can see that have actually sprouted. And I don't know if you can see these. The camera is zoomed in as far as it'll go, but I actually have some little, and those look like the roots to me. I think the corn's upside down, even though I did put the kernel in, you know, the corn part up and the kernel where it connects to the cob, I put that down. So I'm not sure what happened, but I'm not going to touch it because I don't want to kill it. But that's my corn. And since that has sprouted, I need to take it off of the heat mat and put it somewhere. And I am running out of space, guys. Oh, I think I found a spot. So off the mat it goes. And I did not put a dome on this either. And I'm just going to slide this over. This is, what are you? My bush beans. These are my Blue Lake 274, or my 274 Blue Lake bush beans. And I planted these on the 9th. I have nada. Not one has emerged. Now, I also planted these outside. Not these, but I did plant some outside. And they did, one did emerge or germinate and is growing nicely. It may not be well after all of the rain we got, but one did sprout, but absolutely nothing has sprouted in here. And again, I did not put any domes on any of these. So now I think I'll put a dome on it, and if it hasn't emerged in the next few days, I'm just going to trash them and say, you know, all is well. And I did soak the beans for 24 hours, the same as I did the corn. I just put them in hot water overnight, and there's one bean in each cell, and just let them sit. So I don't know. I don't understand what is the issue. And I guess that's one of the things that, being a newbie, we have to understand is, you see how easy other people make it seem when you're growing vegetables. It's not as easy as it seems, because there are going to be failures, and you start getting discouraged because you don't see the same results that it seems that everybody else is getting. But you have to stay focused, you have to stay vigilant, and you have to keep trying. And I'm determined that I am going to keep trying, because my goal is to be self-sufficient when it comes to the foods that I can have control over, which are my fruits and vegetables. So I am going to remain vigilant, and I'm going to keep trying. So having said that, let's move on down to the next shelf. And bear with me just a moment. Okay, now these are my eggplant. I just knew that these were going to fail. Let's zoom out a little. There we go. Because that one did. And I was kind of hoping that this one would make it. Well, okay, come on. Because these were from a supplier that I was very unfamiliar with. But what's really interesting is that only 3 of the 12 made it. And I had planted some in another container, in another seed tray, that absolutely none of them germinated. So I was ecstatic to see these 3 little babies finally emerge. And you see the date I planted them. It was 3/19. I was trying to give it some hope. I was really hoping and praying that, you know, I would get some eggplant. So they finally showed themselves, and I was like, yay! So I've never, and here's the interesting thing, I've never tasted eggplant before. So I was really rooting for these guys, and they finally showed themselves. So I am to the moon. I am just so happy. So there's my little eggplant that I'm so happy about. Let's see if I can move these, start shuffling some things around so you can see. This is my lettuce. My lettuce is not, well, I mean, it's doing well. Oh, I got some fungus on there. I wonder if that's why they're not doing so well. I'm going to transplant those or pot up those, because I see the, bear with me, I see fungus on the top. And I'm not liking that. And that's where, of course, the gnats come from, because they are called fungus gnats. And I thought I had seeded these down to, thinned them down to 1 per tray, but it looks like more have sprouted. This needs some watering. It feels kind of dry. But I'm gonna have to pot up this. Oh yeah, you see that? They're basically root bound. So I'm going to pot up my lettuce and give them a fighting chance, because I've never tasted the lettuce before, the black-seeded Simpson lettuce leaves before. And I love lettuce. I love lettuce. I love salads. I just don't like the bitter greens. I like the leafy greens. So, but I've never tried well, let me rephrase that. I may have had the black-seeded Simpson lettuce before. I just may not have known that that was what the leaves were called, because I get a lot of lettuce, a lot of salads. So I was anxious to grow this one to see if this is one of the leaves that I've had before. So anyway, this is my lettuce. I need to pot it up and see if I can get some more growth on these little leaves. So that's my lettuce. This is my cabbage. I am tickled pink about my cabbage, but they're getting leggy. So I think it's almost time, well, it is. It's time for me to pot them up too. So I've got a lot of potting up to do. So, and I need to be writing this down because I have a condition. It's called CRS, and it's can't remember shit. And if I don't write it down, I forget it. So yeah, I need to be writing these things down. I also need to keep on a board in here when I water things, because I don't want root rot. And you can get that, and you can also rot your seeds if you overwater as well. So yeah, I'll have to have my husband bring my whiteboard downstairs so I can keep track of what I'm growing, when I watered, and what's up next to be grown. Yeah. Okay, so this is my little cabbage. I have 2 per cell, and let me look at how the roots are growing. Yeah, the roots are doing fine. They are all the way down to the bottom. But I think if I put them in a larger pot, they will have more room to stretch out, and then they can start developing heads, because I planted those on 325. Thanks for watching, and that's all for now. So I'll see you on the next video.